Welcome to episode 317 of Flo Wrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined as always by my mainest man from the hills of KC, Wyoming, where life's woolly and wild. Willie Saylor, what's up, buddy?
KC, Wyoming.
That's from a song. Good ride, cowboy. I was feeling nostalgic for college wrestling season, so I listened to. That's the song that Oklahoma State plays at the end of the duels. You ever been to Stillwater, Willie?
Never.
Okay, well, when you go there and watch a wrestling duel, they play that song at the end.
It's really annoying when you're trying to interview coaches on the gym floor and it's just blaring.
Good ride, cowboy.
I remember I was interviewing Pat Pop after they beat Oklahoma State, and we started the interview before they were playing the song, and then they just start blaring it.
What song do they play when they come out?
The Beautiful People.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too. That's pretty sweet.
Oh, they do have one of the best, pump up.
It's probably the best entrance because not very many teams make, an entrance in wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one, and then AL's really good on the mic, too. It's a nice combination. I yearn for college wrestling to begin, and we're getting closer. We're getting little things like schedules, like knowing when teams are actually going to wrestle and who they're going to wrestle. It's a radical notion, but it's starting to happen. We have most of the team schedules, and Penn State's dropped yesterday, and well, basically it was already kind of known, right? Because Nomad's been piecing this thing together, connecting dots, we'll call it, for a couple months. Still a few questions that we had about the Arizona State duel and Southern Scuffle, and we are super excited that Penn State, Oklahoma State at the Scuffle. We can maybe get to that later, but yeah, let's discuss their schedule. It's pretty solid. The glaring omission, the thing that makes me sad, no Iowa. Sounds like at least on one side there was some effort to make that happen, but it takes two to tango, as they say. Didn't happen. So they opened their season with Kent State, which we kind of knew, right?
The Fighting Andraces.
And 197 pounds, going to be a really sassy start for Bo Nickel. Kyle Cannell, Bo Nickel, a couple of toss monsters. Going to be an exciting start to the year.
It's going to be, I don't know how I feel about it, because Kyle Cannell was such a revelation, such a big story at NCAA's, and then, if he just gets mollywopped by Bo Nickel, that's going to be...
He's going to.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen, but it's just going to be kind of like a...
I know, that's what I was kind of thinking, too. When it's cool that... I mean, ultimately, I think it's a good thing that, Cannell was not a topic of discussion at 197 until the NCAA tournament. And so after the NCAA tournament, you have to say, was it lightning in a bottle, or is he for real? And so this year we're going to find out if he's for real right away, because he'll have Warner and then he'll have Bo Nickel.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, Warner will be maybe a more interesting thing to look at. But if he gets smoked by Bo, I'm not going to be flash in the pan. I think it's just more indicative of where Bo is. But I do think we'll see Bo implement a strategy where he's not going to probably want to go upper body with him. It's not that it couldn't necessarily go his way if he goes upper body, but why? Just make it about leg attacks and scrambles and stuff like that instead of putting yourself in a position of risk. So I think it's a cool start for them. They go to Keystone Classic once again, which typically they mow through the competition there. Well, they kind of do that at most tournaments, so that's not
the interesting part there is probably the 25-33 situation, right?
Right, and that was – so I'm working on an article about their schedule, and I have a couple, just kind of highlighting the cool potential matches. Early on, they have Lehigh on December 2nd, and so, you could have Schramm versus Teasdale and Parker versus RBY, and then – but at the same time, maybe not, because I've theorized and kind of believe they're going to hold on to their shirts till after Southern Scuffle, right? So if that's the case, then who knows what we'll see. And to your point, Willie, will we see Gavin and RBY at Keystone? I don't know if that's is that a tournament where you can enter? I don't think it is.
You can enter multiple?
Well, you can enter multiple, but I don't know if you can enter like red shirts unattached guys.
It's 15. Like the roster that you can enter is 15, but right, we would need to double check. I'm sure Coach Reyna would tell us if it's
classified.
Right, only counts for attached guys. But yeah, I'm with you, Christian, because I'm doing the Penn State depth chart, should be coming out today, and I was kind of theorizing the same thing, that because they can win all 4 of these duels without rolling out any of their freshmen 25 or 33.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you. It wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't until after the scuffle that we saw that decided, because I mean we think it's going to be Teasdale and RBY, but
what I would say also, if there's one you're going to see beforehand, before the scuffle in a Penn State singlet, I would assume it's going to be Roman Bravo Young, because if you're not starting him, there's no other option, right? It's got to be RBY. With 25, you've got some guys. You've got Teskey, you've got Teasdale, and they'll probably roll out whoever's better. And if Teskey's, when they probably arrived on campus, I would imagine Teasdale was better. But Teskey, if he makes jumps and it bears out that he's the best guy, then they'll go with him, right? So
yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking off the cuff. At 125, there's a lot of options. At 133, I don't know how many options there are. Why not just put RBY out there and let him run? Because that's who you're going to go with.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's what they did with Soriano. I'm pretty sure he wrestled in their first duel his true freshman year. And I'm trying to remember what they did with Zane a couple years back, and even Nick Lee. How long was he in redshirt? Certainly, it was after scuffle.
After scuffle, I think their first duel after scuffle.
Because he was unattached at the scuffle, and then they let him run. So we'll see. We'll see what they do there, but it's gonna be fun to watch. I think those freshmen, they hold. I mean, those two, Gavin, RBY, and then Berge, they hold a lot of. They can put it completely out of reach and unwinnable for Iowa and Oklahoma State. So they're key cogs.
Thinking about this kind of scenario, where a team wants to sort of test their guys or just gauge where they're at. It goes back to Kerry Colat's thing where maybe we should, like college football is letting you participate in X number of events and maintain your year of eligibility.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the idea. Hey, you get four NCAA tournaments. You get 4 shots at that, right? So that's what I'm hoping for. Maybe down the line. Has anyone presented what's the argument against that?
I don't have one.
Yeah.
When they came out with the NCAA football rule change, they said they were going to start looking at how it would cross over into all the other sports.
Yeah.
Cool.
To your point about the freshmen, Nick Lee, Mark Hall, Nick Suriano, Zane Rutherford, Morgan McIntosh are the true freshmen they've rolled out in Penn State era. So they don't have any problems rolling out true freshmen, and they ultimately probably will. But again, will we see them in the first 5 competitions?
Right, and Mark Hall was another one that was after the scuffle. He made his debut
late January
at Iowa,
yeah.
Against Alex Meyer. And with that one, that's kind of like the anti-RBY situation that they had Shakur and Gino Morelli and maybe another pretty solid guy. So, they had dudes there. They were not hurting at 74. Obviously, Hall was an upgrade. He won NCAAs that year. But, yeah, so they have some flexibility there, but not at 33. So, exciting stuff for Penn State. Looking more at their schedule, Arizona State. And that one really, how much heat that duel has is kind of like, where's the heat go? If he's at 84 and it's Shakur Rashid, it's like, well, okay, forget about it. But if he goes 74 again, that's really, really exciting. That's Mark Hall, Zahid Valencia at Penn State, which that's an X factor, right? That's one of the, if not the best wrestling environment in America right now. But beyond that, no real marquee matches for the Arizona State duel.
No, and Lehigh, Cutler Hall again. That was really close last year. Obviously,
super boring.
Everybody thinks Hall's going to win, but yeah, it came down to one One takedown in the end was 3-2. So Mark will get some early tests there on December 2nd and December 14th.
Price Rashid is interesting at 84.
Ooh, yes.
Very. That was another boring match. Price Bo was boring last year, too.
Oh, yeah. Price is tough, man. I know Nomad's a hater, but Nomad hates all hawks. Mountain hawks, hawk eyes,
Yep.
Anything. It's a bird. I don't know if a bird once, took the hat off his head or something, but those scars are deep-seated.
When we
Also, Tyler Nauman says on Facebook, no red shirts at Keystone.
No red shirts at Keystone. Tyler Nauman. All right, there you have it. Thank you, Tyler. So that's good. That's good to know. I didn't think so. I was thinking back years past, they haven't been able to. So that's that. Any other nuggets? Anything interesting from their schedule? Basically, it comes down to duels, and their toughest duel is Ohio State and Michigan, and they go to the Scuffle in Keystone.
And then after the Scuffle, so like individual matchups that are noteworthy, when they go Northwestern, Deacon Nolf, again, like Nolf's favored, but just interesting matchup. January 13th, Wisconsin comes to town, so we'll see Chenzo versus Wick, hopefully. January 20th, Nebraska comes to town, so Chad Red, Nick Lee. And February, well, we don't know the specific date, but somewhere of the weekend, February 1st to the 3rd, is the BJC duel, and that'll be against Michigan. And then the Ohio State rivalry continues the next week, one of February 8th through 10th in Columbus. Those, you got to imagine those will probably be on BTN because the dates aren't set, and that's usually kind of a hint at that.
Yeah. Oh, well, Michigan, yeah. Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State.
So they're probably going to end the season on a 59 dual winning streak.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of people are asking, like, hey, what's the record? What's the precedent here? 60. And that was one of the FRL questions, but we ain't got to wait for that.
We can get to it now.
Let's go.
76 is the record by Oklahoma State from 1937 to 1951.
Oh, Jesus.
It was surprisingly easy to find.
37 through 51?
Yeah.
How many duels did they? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. They won that many. They
76.
wrestled that many?
Yeah, and then
Then they wrestled like 3 duels a year.
and yeah, I mean there was a war in there that
Does the Battle of the Bulge count in the
yes.
duel streak?
And then
They counted Normandy.
after that, both Oklahoma State and Iowa had a nice streak that went 69 total.
When was that?
Nice.
Like 90s?
Those are the nicest streaks.
It was very nice streaks. Yeah, Oklahoma State was late 90s, and then Iowa was the Brands era, and Oklahoma State actually ended that one.
Oh, that's right. Now they ended
Tie.
Yes, it was a tie because they had their unbeaten streak, which was very long. Longer than
I did not look at
69.
unbeaten streaks because screw that.
Screw that, right? It's a winning streak. That's what
Yeah.
we're looking for.
So they still have if they go 59-0, so it would bleed over into like the 2021 season because they're probably not going to go over 14 duels again next year. So it's going to take them a little bit. Certainly possible.
Well,
but
next year's when
next year gets
it could fall. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
When they lose Nolfin, Nickel, and Nevels, and then they're going to be super reliant on this new crop.
But getting to 60, I mean, not bad. Not so bad.
And, early on in Penn State, they did used to drop duels every now and then. They lost to Minnesota. They lost to Iowa. Maybe it's just them.
There was a point in time where Cale had, like, losing or, like, 500 or sub-500 records against, like, John Smith, J-Rob, Brands. Now, obviously, that's started to shift, and J-Rob doesn't exist in Minnesota anymore. Yeah, Yo Romero. So, yeah, there was a while where they would drop some duels, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, not so much. All right. Hey, while we're on the topic of schedules, thoughts and prayers to the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, because this schedule, Pat Santoro, you're a savage. All right, I'm just going to read it. How about this? So they have the wrestle-offs. Those will be pretty tough, but it gets tougher, believe me. Michigan, Princeton, Penn State, Iowa. Okay, that gets you started. North Carolina, Missouri, Minnesota, UVA, Bucknell, Cornell, American Navy, Arizona State, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Army, Penn.
God.
They wrestle everyone. Basically the entire top 10, I think.
That's
brutal.
And what tournaments are they doing?
Journeyman to start the year.
So no, but they're not doing. There's no Vegas,
no actual tournaments.
No Vegas, Scuffle, or Midlands.
No real tournaments. That's weird.
That's really weird.
First one will be EIWAs.
Because Journeyman's like a pool.
Yeah, it's like a one-day thing.
Yeah.
Coach Pat, I think you should have a tournament. I think you got multi-day weigh-ins. I think it's good.
Let's see how it plays out for him before we make judgment.
I don't know. I feel like we see it. I don't know.
Lehigh usually gets 3 All-Americans for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Pretty consistently.
Yeah, I mean, I like their schedule, just out of pure, good matchups, and also being here in the Lehigh Valley, it's right down the street for me. I go see some good duels, but I'm with you on having. I think you need a multi-day weigh-in on an individual level too. I mean, they might get a multi-day weigh-in at South Beach Duels 2 days. I don't know if the format's 2 days this year, but I believe you have to have something like the Scuffle. You know what, Lehigh too. I don't know. Is it just me, or do they have more injuries? They have guys out of the lineup all the time.
Well, they also have freak injuries, like career enders that. Not even injuries, like illnesses.
Are you going back to Austin Mays? It's been a little bit.
Hess? Yeah.
Eric Hess and Austin Mays are like class of 2004.
Yes. No, there was one more in there.
Eric Hess?
We said Hess and Mays.
Willie, there's one more. Anyway, doesn't matter. But those are still very bad.
Yeah, so maybe that's part of it. Just like.
Yeah, but I'm not even counting them. I'm counting like.
Parker missed a lot of time last year.
They have guys miss time. Minotti was always out of the lineup.
So that's Lehigh's schedule. Good luck to you guys. That looks awful. And they're at a lot of these places. At Iowa, at Michigan, at Penn State.
I'd like to go to that Michigan duel.
At
Iowa.
At Oklahoma State. So basically all their toughest duels are away. So fun times. We can stay in the EIWA briefly. Benjamin Darmstadt, potentially out for the year.
Your son.
My son, with this.
Yes. He's out, but I think that he's going to come back stronger than ever. And this is going to be maybe a blessing in disguise for Ben.
That's insider trading for our fantasy purposes. I wish that information
we haven't drafted
until one of you two guys took him fantasy.
I know. I should have just sat on it, but you know what? I have a duty to report the truth.
You're a big J.
Yep.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Ivies can apply for medical red shirts. They're a little harder to get than
there's not allowed
normal
to get them,
guys,
but they can apply.
But Darmstadt may still have 3 years of eligibility left, guys.
Yeah, I hope so. I feel like anymore. I think that's probably what's guiding this decision a little bit. That's no insider information. That's just like me speculating. Like. They're just seeing everyone's getting, Grant Leith is probably a freshman again. So they're like, Ben can't get one more? Come on, help him out. So I think that would be great.
There was a while where there's obviously a while where 6 years was really hard to get to begin with. But the Ivies were like, nah. Oh, you had shoulder surgery 3 times? No, doesn't matter. You won't get 1 extra year. That's starting to pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, like, the guys can gray shirt and like you can disenroll, and so they might not even read it. They need it.
They can disenroll, unenroll.
Yeah.
Re-enroll.
Re-unenroll. Okay. Hey, it's ranking season. Rankings everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a ranking. And 125 and 133 are not out. I'm curious what you guys think about them. Not really curious what you guys think about them, but I will. I'm open to some
humor us.
Yeah, I will humor you. Right? We nailed these, in my opinion, and we fix our mistakes too.
My biggest questions would be what went into deciding who to put where for Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Do you have some insider info here as well?
No, it's what it is. It's a suggestion. This is me looking out for Dayton. This is me looking out for Nick Piccinini. This is me trying to help Oklahoma State put their best lineup, because the best lineup for every team is a good thing for wrestling. And I think, as much as deep down in my soul, I long for a tournament where Spencer Lee, Nick Suriano, and Dayton Fix are all involved. I want that more than anything. I think that was my New Year's wish last year. I think it was that, okay? I want that very badly. You know what? I think that era is gone unless it's an international thing. I don't think we can see that collegiately. And so me being resigned to that and being the bigger man, I'm saying, you know what? Let's go. But no, the actual reason, I think Oklahoma State, I think this is what the staff would like to see. I think this is what they would prefer. Now, Dayton's going to have his say, right? But I think deep down, this is what Oklahoma State wants. And, you know, if John Smith decides to put the foot down,
put it on the table.
Yeah, forget it, right? So that's what went into it, really. I don't know if that's
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
You got to make a decision.
Yeah, I have to do one. And also, it would be highly speculative of me to, okay, Dayton's going 25. Oh, so I'm just assuming. That's just assuming he beats out Nick Piccinini.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going that far. I mean, Nick at this point is extremely proven. He's beaten some really, really good guys. He has better wins.
All-American?
He has better wins than Dayton does collegiately. Not that Dayton's had the opportunity, but it's like, man, it's not a foregone conclusion that Dayton Fix, our weigh-in, beats Nick Piccinini.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm not
necessarily subscribing to that.
Too, you know, not overlook, but you get a lot of times you get the disrespect thing when you're just doing your job, and this is one of those times that, like, the disrespect, or at least give him a little respect. Don't just assume Dayton's going to win that wrestle off. Piccinini's an All-American. It's a tough pull for Dayton. Pitch is good on top, which Dayton doesn't have to deal with in freestyle. So, and plus, like you said, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Pitch at 25, Dayton at 33 makes the most sense.
So yeah, and then we did rank Dayton at 33, and we're going to rank Cade Brock at 41, which, yes, that's going to put Caden Gefeller out, but I don't know. What do you want me to do? They can't all start. I can't put a 138 weight class. I tried. They won't let me. Beyond that, I don't know.
There's a couple. I mean,
why do you hate Sean Foss?
Who hates? I know. I don't hate Sean Foss.
I did have a
because one, he's ranked really low, could be justified. Two, you have him at 25 again. That's 125 is less than he made weight for the cadet world team in like 2004.
I know. It's all true. And you know what? That was also true like 6 months ago when he made weight 2 days in a row at NCAAs. I don't know what to tell you.
I do have a question. I mean,
no, he's behind Hayes because he lost to Hayes at NCAAs, and to be just simple about it.
But he did beat Hayes 2 out of 3, and he beat Pitch last year.
Yeah. No, he could be higher. For sure.
That's when you're not like
lose at NCAAs to Michael McGee.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That's harmful to your rankings resume. It's like, you know, that we try not to be beholden to the recency thing, but you do need to, you know, it is the final exam, the NCAA, so it's got a lot of weight, right? And there's
30% on the rubric.
There's no letter grade bumps here for perfect attendance, right? So
he did not have anyway.
Which he did not have.
He did not have perfect attendance. He was off, you know, who knows where, eating. He made weight like 3 times.
Wrestled 19 matches last year.
Oh wow, that's a lot more.
Did he have? I don't think he had a multi-day weigh-in until NCAAs.
Because Reno was 1.
They sent him to Italy and made him make weight with all that good food. Man,
he's listed as a 25 on their 18-19 roster.
They recently updated. He's at 18/25 in there. So we're just gonna keep that door open in case they bring that weight class back.
So there's a couple wrestle off or roster battle situations, whatever you want to call them. Ryan Milhoff, and you basically, I totally understand it, but you basically went with the starter Ryan Milhoff, Brandon Courtney. You know, Milhoff's All-American, Courtney was on redshirt last year, so makes sense to put Milhoff in the rankings, and then Matt and Acid at Michigan, which Matten does have a redshirt to play with, so that that could just solve that.
We maybe should have ranked Acid, given those facts, but with his injury history, I'm just like, man, I don't know.
He even said something about because I think somebody said don't sleep on him. I think it was actually his brother, and he was like, well, to their credit, I haven't really wrestled in 2 years, so
yeah,
he was realistic about it. But I mean, Michigan's got a good schedule. He'll be able to jump in if he comes in and does really well. I don't think it's out of the question that he's ranked if he's the guy.
Got it. And then the other roster battle, Courtney. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Courtney beat out Milhoff at all. I think there's an element of hunger there with Brandon Courtney too, right?
He just looks like Courtney just looks like a dog that wants a bone.
Yep.
That kid's. You're right, a hunger factor, and you see that often with kids that haven't, kids that had to come in, they had to redshirt. They want to get in the lineup, and then you got the old vet that's been sitting over there, and I like that terminology, Christian, hunger factor, because that's what you see out of Courtney.
Yeah, excited to see them.
Transferred, he's been hurt. So, hey, did you update these based on one of the FRL questions? Did you put Devin Schroeder in?
No, I updated them based on, it was before the FRL questions, based on correspondence with one coach, Tony Ersland.
Okay, because I was going to bring that up because I was like, he does kind of have a bit of a case to be ranked.
No, he does, and now he is. So, where you go, Devin Schroeder. He did have a nice year.
Who bumped out?
Shakur Laney.
Shakur Laney, yeah.
It's nice, disgusting. Kyle.
Yeah. He said it's
not
disgusting.
Wrestling last year. Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah.
See where your loyalties lie.
Yeah.
Wow, Rayvon Foley down at 18, huh? He seems I trust that it's justified. It just seems low for him.
Well, here's the thing with Rayvon. It's very impressive. You was watch him wrestle and you like him, but he looks good in losses, which doesn't help you much. If you look at his wins, basically it's Matten repeatedly, and there's not a ton of other ones that are that inspirational. I think he could go a little higher, but you could spend basically your entire life trying to get 15 through 20 in order. And
sure, it's just one of those rankings that the name jumps out as, that's way down there.
Yeah, for sure. So at 33...
33, not to interrupt, but 33, you have Vito at 17 for Cornell.
Yeah, who knows? I'm not sure what they're doing. There's speculation he could go 25, and obviously Chaz Tucker's there, and he's got some wins too. We threw Vito in there. I just can't see a scenario where he's not the guy in the lineup for Cornell, and I can't see a scenario where I struggle to see or to believe he could go 25. So
Cornell has a bit of an issue. I don't know if it's an issue, but it sounds like all of their 25s are pretty darn big. It'll be a good cut for most of them. So word on the street is they're even thinking about Vito going down to 25 because they have two good ones at 33. I mean, they have a couple good 25s. It doesn't matter who can make it.
Yeah. So we'll see what they do. I'm surprised that Boffman can't get there anymore. But
is Boffman I don't know how to phrase this, but has anybody been snubbed worse than Boffman for 2 years?
Well, how do you mean?
He didn't make the NCAA tournament yet.
He's been the 34th best guy 2 years in a row.
The 2 years ago was unjustifiable. He should have been in the tournament. It was unconscionable that they didn't put him in, and I don't know. I still don't know why.
Last year was a little bit more gray area, but I don't know. I just feel like I thought he should have made it both years.
Yeah. He certainly has. He's certainly one of the 33 best guys. They also have Russo there, who I guess he's too big now. I didn't think he was that big, but all these guys, Cornell diet, I don't know.
125 sucks to make.
Yeah, it's hard to be 125 pounds as an adult human. Okay. So that's that. That's Cornell, the Cornell Hour. touched on them a little bit. Any other 33 spots topics of discussion?
I think Lezak at 5 makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pletcher had 4 losses last year. 2 of them were to Micic. He had a win over Micic. Like, it's all explained there. Scott Parker, interesting 6. Like, 2-time AA, kind of hard to argue. But I'm sure people will be like, oh, Dayton and DeSanto, Montoya, all those guys can beat him. But
well, they can come get it in March.
yeah, you placed twice.
That's where Parker's at. That's where you'll find him. Yeah, I think there's maybe a drop off there. Parker, Bridges, DeSanto, I don't know. Maybe.
Top 9 strong.
Who knows? Yeah, no, top 10 strong. I'll throw Ernesti in there, and then 11 on. Man, help.
Valdivias.
He was the 38th guy in the tournament last year, and somehow he's 11th now.
Well, he pulled Wilkie, right? He was alternate in, then went round 12, right?
He was not round of 12. He didn't go full Wilkie.
He didn't go full Wilkie. Okay.
He was 2-2.
Okay, that's right, because he didn't make the quarters.
Yeah.
Almost went full Wilkie. Good on you.
Yeah.
And then Corbin Myers transferring to Virginia Tech could be interesting.
No, I like Myers. Super solid. Also, Rico Montoya. Probably, if you're looking for someone other than Vito from that back half, I think Rico's someone you can look out for. He's got some nice wins.
Mickey Philippi finally becoming Division I starter.
Yeah, he's also maybe I think he's only a freshman or sophomore too.
Yeah,
he got another year.
He's a sophomore. It's just we've been talking about him for a while. He hasn't been
freshman year back, I think.
Yeah. So no, excited for Coach Gavin and Mickey to see how they do with him. So those are the rankings. We're rolling out one a day on the weekdays. I don't think we'll take the weekends off. Let you take the weekends off from pouring over our rankings. So yeah, those should be wrapping up around next week this time, if we can maintain our pace, which should be no problem.
Did you get any super hateful mail?
No.
I mean, we talked about Schroeder, but anything where it's just like, wow, Piles, idiot. Because you usually get at least one of those when preseason comes out.
Not yet.
I read at least 2 of them.
Who?
I read at least 2 of you.
Yeah, those are mostly Willie. He hasn't been able to check them out yet. No, Coach Ersland was totally cool, as was Matt McDonough, who had himself a Texas in on behalf of one Connor Brown. But it's all love. But they're coming. But the thing is, I don't like to read those or anything. Nothing's worse than dads. At least it's not.
What do you mean you don't like to read them?
Well, no, by read them. I read them. I don't like to openly discuss, like.
Oh yes.
Because sometimes not every coach is. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course they're all going to cherry pick.
We beat that guy twice. He sucks.
Yeah, but like, well, hold on, buddy. Yeah, that's true. But if I apply your logic, look at these 4 unranked guys. So should those guys all jump you? Because that's the logic you're applying. Yeah. You get that every now and again.
I also think people have finally realized that preseason. So in a lot of sports, preseason rankings are a little bit of a projection, but in wrestling, it's basically just your previous year's resume.
Right, exactly. Because that's what football would be the prime example.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's obviously a lot harder in football.
That's rankings. Another note. One of my favorites, Therius Robeson. Commits to Northern Colorado, and I'm concerned.
Why are you smiling?
Because Therius is one of my favorites, and it's possible he'll be another one of my sons when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But
oh my God,
I'm concerned.
Darmstadt gets hurt for 1 second. You're going to adopt a kid that's not even in college yet.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just. He's been one of my favorites for a while now, but I'm concerned because someone needs to have an honest conversation with Therius.
Somebody has to talk to Therius.
You cannot play Division I football, Therius. You're not.
You weigh 140 pounds.
You're 140 pounds. Where are you going to play?
He saw Tavon Austin this weekend, and he was like, "I'm going to the league too."
He probably
Tavon's like 180.
Tavon's
40 pounds.
Significantly bigger than Therius.
I'm sure Therius is awesome at football. I'm sure he's really, really good. I have no doubt that he's really good. 140 pounds, you can do that in high school. Northern Colorado, it's a completely different thing. But he says he's going to play football and wrestle. you know what? All we can do is support him. But I think someone needs to have an honest conversation with him, get him focused on the mat.
Do you think it was maybe a situation where Troy talked to the football coach and was like, hey, give this kid a tryout, like try to let him walk on?
Yeah, I think it's exactly something like that, where it's like, all right, fine, you can play football here. But then reality will ultimately hit, and it's an insane thing to attempt to do. It'd be one thing if it was Adam Kuhn. It's like, okay. But no, Therius. I don't think so.
He told me Fresno State was the other school he was looking at doing both that. And Fresno State, they have a history of they have another guy that both wrestles and plays football in Hokit.
Yeah.
It was a 97-pounder.
Hokit's a 97-pound running back.
Fresno's significantly better than Northern Colorado football.
Yes, they won 10 games last year. They were very good.
They're like top 25.
Yes.
Yeah.
They won it all.
I don't know. It doesn't have to do with how good the football team is, but maybe Therius. And because I love the kid. I love the kid since he was little on up. He's always been great. But you want a kid to reach, as a wrestling fan, right? You want the kid to reach his full potential. And I don't know, right? I don't know if you can do that by dabbling in two different sports. So. I hope he goes. If he plays football, I hope he wins the freaking Heisman Trophy. But, maybe it's a situation too where he plays football for 2 years and doesn't get any playing time, and says, "The heck with this, I'm going to focus on wrestling."
Very possibly. Okay.
How about they get Alirez and Robeson, and Dom Serrano after Flo Nationals is like, I'd like to stay close to home. That would be salty lineup.
Well, think of the guys. They didn't get Schultz. Colorado, I've been saying for a long time. Colorado and Georgia are two of the more underrated states. Colorado, for 50 years, has been producing guys that they're like top 10 in AAs. But even recently, if you took all the Colorado talent and kept them home with Therius and Yapuzin and Alirez and Malik Heinzelman and Colton Schultz, Dom Serrano is coming up, and there's a kid I really like named Isaiah Salazar. The kid that went to
Josiah Ryder,
who went to NC State, and there's even more kids really coming up through. I mean, if you just kept them all home, you'd be looking really nice.
That's the nomad theory for Ohio. Just for Tom Ryan to lock down the borders.
Speaking of which, do we want to make predictions for any of the guys who
he said West Virginia has to lock down the Pittsburgh area? So
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
It would help a lot.
Why not?
Spot the lie.
Were you gonna go ahead, or are you stymied?
I asked if we wanted to go over the I don't know what you're talking about. I asked if you wanted to go over the guys who haven't committed yet.
We were just talking about your recruiting strategies.
Yeah, keep the good guys in state. I don't think that's revolutionary.
No, you said West Virginia needed to keep.
Anyways, Karsten Karchla. You want to talk about the uncommitted?
Yeah. Any predictions? I mean, because we're down to like the last big five: Karchla, Balmaceda, Starocki, Ridge Lovett, Cam Amin. Everybody thinks Cam Amin obviously going to Michigan. Willie has stayed numerous times. He is a little more open. Do we want to go around and do it? Yes or no?
He's very open.
Yes. I mean, it's interesting the updates that you get or the updates that you don't get. Love it. NC State kind of got screwed by Flo. Not Flo, Hurricane Flo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, they had a weekend full of recruits that didn't happen because of they all got canceled. Karchla, love it. I mean, go down to Kevon.
Yep.
Dang.
Yep. So I kind of hurt them a little bit, and then Kevon's like, yeah, and Kirkfleet was supposed to be on that trip, I believe. So, Kirkfleet verbals, Kevon verbals. But Karchla, I believe, I don't know if there's any update there. Nomad, you know anything? You have any? I don't think there's anything between the time he told us his school list and since he's took some trips, that has changed.
No, I think he's still gonna end up staying home. Ohio State.
And I do think it's a weight class of need. You know, I didn't realize it was such a weight class of need until I did the Targets article, and you're like, you know, they have some bodies there, but they're relying on young talent. You don't know how that's going to prove out. You could have the number one blue chipper in the world, and you don't know how it's going to turn out. And so, Ohio State definitely could use Karchla. And then Amin, who seems, you know, it's that old thing. Is he really wide open, or, you know, everybody in his family went to Michigan, and he just got back from Oklahoma State, and so his decision will be coming soon, if not by Super 32, right after. The guy that love it, by the way, I think is going to go to Nebraska. The guy that really gets me is Starocki. I thought for sure, and I'm writing the Penn State's Targets article. I wrote it last night, actually. Is Starocki? I thought for sure he was going to go to Penn State. I was like, yep, he's going to be at Penn State. That's where he's going to end up. And the longer this goes on, I hear less chatter about it. And he's taking trips to Minnesota, and and you can't. Maybe I'm reading too much into him taking trips, because you're going to take trips, right? But I felt like it was a done deal, and now I don't know if it is.
I think Virginia Tech's
and looking
really
at their
roster,
they maybe could use somebody in the 74 range, because what you have is Berge will probably move up to 57, 65.
Joe Lee.
Will be Joe Lee. 74, who they got. I mean, you could say maybe Aaron Brooks, but I think he's going to be an 84. So who's going to be 74 if it's not Mason Manville?
Well, they could still, I mean, they could go Starocki, Brooks, 74, 84, depending
They don't
on...
have Starocki.
Huh?
Yeah, they don't have him. That's Willie's point.
I know. I'm saying if Starocki commits, they could just wait out and see, okay, whichever one you gets bigger goes 84, the other one goes 74.
Yep. So.
And then Balmaceda will probably be at Iowa next weekend for their big thing, so.
Balmaceda's down to 2 schools.
Yeah.
Which 2?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
You're allowed to say. I won't tell anyone.
We'll
edit this part
I don't know if they've told the other coaches this.
Well, just tell me. We won't. The coaches
I can't
don't
not say. He told me not to say.
Oh, fine. Jeez.
Boo.
All right. Hey, we just stopped the show, Willie. Show's over. Just us on Skype now. You can tell me, because it's fine. Show's over.
Boise State.
Oh, not funny. All right, let's get to some questions.
You know what? This is a complete sidebar.
Oh, boy.
Well, sort of. Maybe it's not. I'm going to come down to Austin. I'm really pumped to come down to Austin in a couple weeks. And anyway, we're going to do a show on best programs, best potential cities or schools for new programs. But I was going through the recruiting stuff last night, the last 10 years of recruiting, and you'd be really surprised at the number of top 25 classes for Boise State, for a couple programs that were dropped. It's like, man, they're getting – Eastern Michigan was a top 25 recruiting class one year. It's just sad. You know, schools are doing well, and the university is like, no, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Very sad. Okay. Questions from friends?
Friends?
Yes.
Hey, one thing, though. We got to get this on wax. What happened with Victoria Anthony? Victoria Anthony goes, she makes the finals of a tournament. She goes to bed. In the middle of the night, they change the weigh-in time. She shows up. They're like, no, you're an hour late. You can't wrestle in the finals?
Well,
do I have that story right?
That's basically what. Well, I don't know about the time frame for when the weigh-ins time changed, but it seems like everyone else got the memo, which makes me think this is a issue on our end more than
from Victoria's Instagram story. She was in the arena and didn't know weigh-ins were going on, and then all of a sudden it was like weigh-ins are over, and Joe Russell and Brian Medlin were like, wait, what do you mean weigh-ins are over? And they're like, oh, yeah, we changed it. And they're like, when did you change it? Like, oh, like 1 in the morning. And so,
But why did no one else miss weight?
I mean, because the women's weigh-ins are probably separate from the men's weigh-ins.
So there's still other women to weigh in.
Yeah, was she the only woman there?
That's the only thing I can think of.
Was she the only Team USA woman there?
No, but all I know is what was on her Instagram story.
Okay, buddy.
So
relax. I'm just trying to explain that it doesn't make sense if another Team USA woman made weight that day.
Yeah,
that doesn't really map to the.
Was she the only one that didn't weigh in?
Somebody, I don't know where I read it.
I thought it was multiple.
But somebody wrote somewhere that a Belarusian. And Medved is in Belarus. Belarusian female wrestler also missed weight, or also didn't
get to weigh-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know exactly what happened, but there's always some interesting shenanigans at these international things. Okay, anything else before questions from friends?
Just one last thing. Shout out to Jeff Jordan. Excellent tenure at St. Paris Graham. You could do probably a whole show on it. Somebody suggested you could do a doc on it, and you probably could. You could definitely do a doc on like the evolution of wrestling, how at the high school level between like Jeff Jordan and Jeff Buxton and a couple other guys, a couple other national high school coaches during that era, sort of kind of changed the landscape of high school wrestling as to what we know it now. So Jeff Jordan retiring at St. Paris Graham, his resume was impeccable. And Jeff Buxton just last weekend, I wish I would have known ahead of time. Jeff Buxton was inducted into the New Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame. There was a big thing down there for him. I would have went to it, but I had tickets to the Redskins game. Didn't know about it. Anyway, Jeff Jordan, Jeff Buxton. You know, that was a different era.
And Coach Urbis retired too from St. Ed's this year. So Ohio wrestling going to look a little different this year at the high school level.
Yep. Shout out Jeff Jordan, Coach Urbis. Legends. For sure. Okay. This is a kind of a plug, but let's just go. We Are Wrestlers asks, any idea of what college duels will be streaming on Flo as many as last season? Yeah, it should be
more. We picked up new schools.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Bracky.
West Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah, shout out.
Conflict of interest.
Don't think. I don't know. I'm just gonna say North Dakota State.
Iowa
State. And then we're gonna have over 70 Big Ten duels again. Then we still have, Edinburgh, Wyoming, Northern Iowa,
South Dakota State. Yeah.
Air Force?
No, I'm not sure. We're working on finalizing everything right now. I made a bunch of events pages live yesterday, so hopefully in the next month we'll have it all finalized.
Yeah, the Big Ten schedule is the big one, obviously, and that will come out sometime in October when we know that. So basically, we get the Big Ten Plus matches. So when that comes out in October, then you'll have that, and we'll be able to more. But yeah, got Southern Scuffle, of course.
Yeah.
We have Midlands again.
CKLV.
We'll have Big Tens,
Reno.
Cliff Keen, Las Vegas, Reno.
We're going to have some cool one-off duels too, like Ohio State Navy at McDonough School, Penn State Bucknell, North Carolina. So some cool stuff.
Yeah. So
possibly Kent State, Penn State as well.
That'll be part of the Big Ten schedule.
Oh, yeah, right.
So yeah, going to be an awesome year. Tons of live wrestling, college wrestling on Flo. So exciting stuff. Who's replacing Mock on the U23 team? Who was second in that?
Second was Cannell wrestled Colin Moore.
Right.
Pull it up. I don't remember who Mock wrestled.
Well, we're pulling it up right now. Either. I don't know why I don't remember that either.
What was the injury?
I was there, and I don't remember.
Hunter Ritter.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
boy.
Doesn't have a place to train right now.
Probably not going to be
Who was
Hunter
third?
Ritter.
Third was Eric Schultz of Nebraska.
Let's go. Next man up.
Next man in. That's how you do it.
That's pretty late, though. It's pretty late to change up the training,
Yeah. They should all be training. It'll be fine. It's no problem.
Should have just lied. We should have lied about
Yeah.
that. It's 7 days. Everyone else does it. We should have done it one time.
One time for U23s. But is that the card we want? Is that the?
I don't know, dude. Shut up. There was a really funny response on Twitter. Someone was like, he should just move to Russia and wrestle in cadets next year.
Yeah, he should. Machiavello, very Russian.
Machiavellov.
Machiavellov, yes. That's all. Just throw a V at the end, and you're Russian, and you're 17. It's awesome.
Well, I told you that story, right? From Italy? What Machiavello? Don't just go by name with this guy.
He's not Russian, or I mean Italian.
I was like, yeah. What you're Italian, right? What city? What city is your family originally from over here? He's like, nah, I'm Peruvian. Okay, your name's Machiavello.
Yeah. Whatever happened to the Kyle Connell documentary? It's coming. Being worked on by Sean Connell, the
No relation.
the author, the editor behind Austin DeSanto's Vision Quest. He also did he do Colette?
No, that was his brother Reed.
His brother Reed. It's a pretty talented family, as you can imagine.
He also did Jaws.
He edited the Kyle Snyder video, Brian Snyder, Kyle Snyder
Brian
video.
Snyder, Kyle Snyder. So Sean Connell's on it, but he's also on the Dake Taylor documentary as well. So he's not lacking for
I
work.
promise we have Flow films coming in the next few months.
They're in the hopper.
Probably.
It's going to be great.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
October. I don't know about that for Cannell, but definitely I think we'll have a film for you in October. Okay, let's talk about this. Is Anthony Cassar, who may not even start, obviously, the toughest matchup for Gable this year? Good leg attack, smaller, quicker heavyweight who could potentially match some of Gable's athleticism. It says also let Willie answer this one, which is against my better judgment, but I'll allow it.
No, he said last week. He said, "P.S. Don't let Willie answer this." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I don't know. I just try to be funny."
It was funny.
Probably because he was scared you were going to make fun of his question.
Yeah, because you're rude.
Well, you know what? It's
CP's
funny you
the one
say
that does
that because
that.
I'm looking through some of these questions and they're stupid.
No, what'd you say? He's the one that I'm the one. I don't do that. Willie always
No,
makes fun
you
of
got
the question.
chastised last week by somebody.
No, what? I have no
'Cause of the
problem
email
saying
thing.
that some of these questions are stupid.
Sensitivity training.
Yeah,
But
it's management training.
yeah, that's a good point about Cassar. Derek White's kind of
No, it's not a good point. These
What?
Gable is on a different level from these guys, right? I mean, this is not.
Well, but,
He's smaller.
but the question is toughest
The
matchup.
question is not. Yeah, the question
All
wasn't.
right, I
is he
guess
gonna
so.
beat him?
Like someone will be his toughest matchup. He will have
That's true.
a match that is closer
You're right.
than the other ones.
You're right. I recant. But I don't know if it's because Cassar lost to Hoffman last year. He lost to someone else.
Northern Iowa.
Holschlag.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Holschlag was
just-
an All-American.
Yeah, I know, buddy. But
Just saying.
I know Holschlag's legit, right? But
All right. Well, how about answer the question in generalities? Like, it is a smaller, lighter, more elusive heavyweight a more difficult matchup for Gable than a big old Sam Stoll.
yeah, I think so. Maybe Derek White is that guy. Who actually didn't place.
And Derek White will be Gable's probably first legitimate test based on their schedule.
Yeah.
How do you even know? What's his deal, dude?
Gable?
Yeah.
We don't.
We don't know. We don't know. All I know is he posts training videos from him in the Minnesota wrestling room.
Yep.
That's all we know. And he's Junior Worlds, right? He's got that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's currently in Slovakia.
Great.
Good. All right, so good question by Nick Neighbors. Thank you for answering, Willie Saylor. I feel like we've touched on Dayton, better shot to win a title.
Many times,
so we won't do that one. Has Spey analyzed year-over-year pre-NCAA flow rankings compared to NCAA tournament pre-seeds in relation to actual points scored? He's done this the last 5 years, and I'm happy to report we've been 100% the last 5 years.
Wow.
So we're going to look to keep that streak going.
Congrats to us.
Yeah, it was awesome. So we've been nailing those for 5 years straight, 100%. And, hopefully we can keep that going.
I didn't understand the third part of the question. I get the preseason rankings versus seeds, like how that plays out. But then is the relation to points scored, is it based on the preseason or the pre-seeds? Or I don't know. I don't understand that part.
It's all those, and it was still 100%. It's crazy.
You even got the team points taken away from Snyder and Bo Nickel last year. Yeah,
I had those.
That was pretty crazy.
I even had the Shakur Rasheed injury time factored in for the swim cap debacle.
You did get the seeds 100% right one year.
And the pigtails.
That's true. That is true. That will be my crowning achievement, potentially. Okay, here's the big question. From Anthony Terlizzi, which would Nomad pick first? Trusting a refrigerator in Texas or Iowa winning an NCAA team title this year?
The first.
You would trust a refrigerator in Texas before Iowa winning a team title?
Well, Iowa winning a team title this year.
Wow. Hashtag Hawkeye hater. That's how he signed off, and he's right. Once again, choosing to trust these deceptive refrigerators over Iowa wrestling. Okay.
I think he's starting to trust refrigerators. I saw him taking orange juice out of one yesterday.
Wow.
Well, refrigerators are better than air.
Better than air. All right.
It's better than sitting outside.
What reason does the Heat have for staying at 174? Asked Jacoby Watson. He doesn't look like he can make 74. I agree. And he's smaller than 86 currently. True. He could be national champ at 84, so I don't see any positives to staying down. Maybe a roster thing. Would love to hear the crew's thoughts. I think the only reason he goes 84 is because I need to bulk up because I want to make the Olympic team in 2020. I don't think there's a major struggle for him to make 74.
Nope.
I don't think so either.
He's just going out of his way to get larger if he goes 84.
I thought he himself has said, like, yeah, we've been at camps and Hall is bigger.
Yeah.
Now, somebody said, I don't know, it was yesterday, but somebody on a message board said that they went back and looked at actual weigh-in sheets for some tournaments, and Zahid was hot, like in the 90s. I don't know how that would be.
I don't know.
Zahid was up to 190 something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or high 80s, but I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, they're tournaments.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm really confused.
I'll go back and look it up.
His freshman year when he was redshirting, he was a 184. So it does make sense that he would weigh in higher then when he was like actually
No, I'm talking about somebody said they had weigh-in sheets or something where it was in the 90s. I don't know.
Was this on Bill Zadek's whiteboard?
I don't think that makes sense.
What?
Was this on Bill Zadek's whiteboard?
Did he weigh in the 90s but wrestle 184?
Wow.
No, I'm maybe it was a certification thing.
Okay.
You talking 90s like when he was wrestling Tulsa?
Yeah, literally
Like
the,
in the
1990s.
When he was wrestling 94 pounds?
Yeah.
Got it. Jake Angich. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Agnich.
Agnich. Thanks. Garth Brooks or George Strait?
Garth.
I'll say Garth.
Straight.
You would.
It's a tough. That's a
I
really
would.
tough one. I mean, the only. I want to say push, but the only
my
thing
God.
Garth
Take
Brooks
a
is friends
side.
with John Devlin.
Vincent and Willie.
Push.
He's coming back.
What?
Garth
George
Brooks
Strait's awesome.
or George Strait. You have to pick one. You're going on a deserted island. You have one for the rest of your life. You have to pick one, or you get none. No music.
All right, give me Garth.
That's what's up.
So I'm the only one living for the night.
Good ride, cowboy.
I'm not going to stand outside the fire.
No way. Call them cool.
Good job, Racky.
Thanks.
What would Ohio State's? No way, we can't do this. This is like a project. Sometimes it's like Garth Brooks or George Strait. Sometimes it's like 10-year retrospective All-Star team versus All-Star team with current weigh-in rules.
Who would be the best, highest point scoring backups made up of a Big Ten team from the 90s?
Which starting inside linebacker would make the best heavyweight and which school would they go to?
Can Ed Oliver make 285?
How would Khalil Mack do at the NCAA tournament? He'd probably do really well.
Yeah.
If he can make heavyweight.
good.
He's a monster.
He won me my
He was
fantasy
a
game last
two-star
night
recruit.
because I have individual defensive player.
Oh, wow.
He scored like 9 points, so I won my game.
Good
He
job.
only scored 9 points.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He only had one sack. Only.
If he recovered that fumble, he'd been much better shape. Okay. Before we go, dear friends, is there anything else you'd like to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace. That does more for Willie. It's more for Willie.
Who's on one show tomorrow? Penn State depth chart and recruiting targets coming. Rankings continuing to come via Andrew Spey and Christian Piles. Watch the Bootleg podcast with Colby Paxton and Kyle Brackey. That's on Flo Football.
If you like football.
Christian doesn't watch it because he doesn't support his teammates.
That's not true. I listen to them. I probably listen to more episodes than you.
I listened to every episode last night. You didn't listen to last week, so check and wait.
To it. Oh. Kyle's awesome. Colby's my dude.
I listened pre-Kyle.
How's everybody's college teams doing in football? James Madison, how's it going? No, man.
James Madison is 2-1. They start their conference schedule this week against William & Mary, and they're going to beat the crap out of them.
Kyle, West Virginia doing all right?
Yeah, we were actually part of the Hurricane Florence. Yeah. So was Christian's Hokies.
Oh, yeah.
But all those guys that were supposed to go on the NC State recruiting trip were going to watch Will Greer light up that NC State secondary. So they really miss out an opportunity to see the future Heisman Trophy winners. That sucks for them.
Christian, was the Hokies rained out too?
Rained out. East Carolina, they didn't want to make the walk.
JMU gave NC State.
Here's the thing. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this game didn't happen. I'm on Twitter Saturday. The Hokie wrestling team's playing ball outside. Like East Carolina couldn't come.
That was the thing is they didn't feel safe traveling. That's what they said.
Why? You just leave early.
You're aware that the weather could be different in Blacksburg than in.
Hey, I question their safety too, but it had nothing to do with the hurricane.
Also, it sounded like
they're a trash team.
They already got smashed.
How was it in Austin with Texas playing USC?
It sprinkled a little bit, but it was nothing.
I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the town, you goober.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't leave the apartment all day. I didn't leave the apartment once.
I stayed north in Pflugerville.
Willie, who is your college football team? You went to so many different schools. Who do you claim?
Well, I don't. I like Penn State. And I like Nebraska. A little up and down there. Nebraska lost to Troy.
Dude, Troy's giant killers. They beat LSU last year.
Nebraska lost to Troy. Penn State played Kent State. So, meh. But I went to the Redskins game Sunday and watched the worst.
I'm sorry for that.
Football game I've ever seen. They were stunk. Redskins stunk. So
Alex Smith.
Dink and dunk.
Garbage.
All right, boys.
All right, play us out. Control room. We're ready to bounce. Thank you guys so much for listening to 317 episodes of FloWrestling Radio Live. Some of you have listened to all of them. Some claim, when we asked this question last time, some have claimed they've listened to all of them.
I believe it.
Which is pretty crazy. Even the one that got lost, people forget about that one. There's actually been 318 episodes. There's just one that...
There's a couple that got lost. Well, at least dark.
One of them was with Ben Askren, I'm pretty sure. That's sad.
Hey, did you see Ben tweeted he taped his final episode with Tommy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he's putting it to bed.
T-Row Funky. Thank you for listening. Thank you to ASICS for supporting FloWrestling Radio Live. Thank you to Sion. We know you're out there listening. I hope you come on the show someday. I've made arrangements for you to do that, but it's up to you to make the walk.
He's being a real baby.
He's being a huge baby, actually.
About what?
He won't come on. He won't come on the show. He just wants to complain about it. He just wants to have something to complain about. All right.
It's like Sion.
Classic Sion. Thanks, guys. See you next time.